What are your thoughts on one of the biggest bottlenecks and problems for businesses generally at any stage, which is like data and data hygiene and the processes around that? How does advancements in ML and AI help maybe shortcut some of those headaches?
I think in some cases it helps. In other cases, I think that like an ounce of prevention is worth the pound of cure. And I think having like good data nomenclature, having a clean data pipeline, and like having the right unique IDs, etc., are things you should probably implement versus like try to have like AI or someone manually fixing the back end. And so I think like setting up your data structures in the right way from day one is immensely helpful in preventing the problem, kind of like technical debt from creeping up in the first place. Once you do have some technical debt on the data pipeline, I think it does help with the data cleaning process, which obviously is fairly costly depending on the level of volume of data you have.
I think definitely like the data need to be clean in the first place, as Paul mentioned. I think like we all worry about like hallucination. So there are probably like two things I would add. One is basically if you were to use like external AI tools, definitely it's like very important. You want like the tools to show you like the sources, right? That's like one thing. It sounds like so basic, but like when I evaluate a bunch of startups, it's just like crazy. Startup like selling into like investment banks or like consulting firm, and you don't even show sources. How are we even going to like use this? This is like some consideration. Another one is like if you are just trying to like experiment different like AI use cases like internally, I think you want to like find the use case where the cost of a hallucination is a little bit lower. And then there are different type of work, right? If you are like, oh, generate a board deck, then obviously you don't want any mistakes. The stake is like super low, super high. But there are like situations where like the stake could be lower. For example, like when I was at Stripe, oh, we do like all these different like strategy projects. It's like, okay, what's like the next product like Stripe should build? And then we sort of do our own like internal consulting type of projects. And then essentially in those cases, it's like, okay, you get like so many like different industry reports, competitive reports, like some internal documents, and you just try to like synthesize, like digest those information. I think in this case, like the cost of like hallucination is like very low, since essentially you are just like trying to like gather some like basic information. I think like basically when you do like just like AI use case like internally, I think it's helpful to like understand like, oh, what are like the more like high stake, like I really want like high accuracy, versus like some use case is more just like, okay, it's just like a introductory prep step anyways. It's like okay to have like a little bit of hallucination.